Hi everybody, welcome to Decode Australia. Today is Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. My name is Tamer.
My name is Shirley.
And we're going to be starting the US Canadian analysis.
With a bearish candle, the price of the US dollar fell below 1.3200 against the Canadian dollars on Wednesday, ahead of the release of Canadian retail price news.
Now, this pair is currently floating around the 1.3125. If you look at your chart closely, you'll see the following support levels. At support 1 is a 1.3104, which is the low of October 20th. At second support is the 1.2992, which is a major horizontal support, and it's also very close to that 1.3 psychological level. And finally, a third support is at 1.2900, which is a psychological number.
Yep, on the upside, the US Canadian dollar is likely to hit multiple resistance levels. The price of the US Canadian pair might face some critical resistance near the price tags mentioned below. So resistance 1, 1.3242, the 23% Fibonacci level. Number 2, 1.3319, the upper trend line arm. Resistance 3, 1.3396, the key horizontal resistance area.
Okay, so how about some news surrounding this pair? So in particular, we're going to be discussing the Canadian retail sales news. So Statistics Canada is all set to release these numbers concerning this retail news on October the 21st, which is today, so it's going to be later on in the evening once Canada wakes up. So according to economists, the Canadian retail sales news reached a reading of 1.1% in August. There was no noticeable change as compared to a reading of 1.1% in the previous month.
So the data for Canadian retail sales reflects the total number of sales made in the last month by the retail sector of Canada. The figures are derived after considering data taken from various retail stores of different sizes on a sampling basis across the country.
Now, retail sales figures are considered important for the Canadian economy since these numbers tell you about the expected spending patterns of consumers. Generally speaking, increased numbers suggest a bullish market for the Canadian dollar, but expects a bearish trend for the USDCAD and vice versa.
So in conclusion, considering the bearish candle being made by the US and Canadian pair over the past couple of days, selling the pair around current levels might be a good move in the short term to medium term trading.
That's correct. Okay, now let's move on to the US Swiss analysis.
Okay, let's have a look at the US dollar rose against the Swiss Franc on Wednesday, increasing the price of the US dollars against Swiss pair to more than 0.900 ahead of the release of US non-defense capital goods order aircraft news.
So now this pair is currently strengthening around the 90-70 level. Again, looking at the charts, you'll see the following resistance levels, which may prove difficult to overcome. Resistance 1 is at 90.94, which is the confluence of trendline arms. Second resistance is at 91.72, which is the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement. And finally, the third resistance is at 92.10, which is the upper trendline arm.
Okay, on the downside, the price of the US Swiss might find a few support levels that might prevent the price of the pair from falling below the listed price supports. So at support 1, 0.9048, the low of September 10th, 2020. The support 2, 0.8997, the major horizontal support level, and support 3, 0.8900, the psychological level.
Okay, and now for some news that might affect this pair, we're going to be discussing the US non-defense capital goods order, excluding aircrafts. So the US Census Bureau plans to release stats concerning the US non-defense capital goods orders, which again, once again, excluding aircrafts, on Tuesday next week, which is the October 27th. According to the consensus of economists, the US non-defense capital goods orders reached a reading of 0.5% in September as compared to a reading of 1.9% in the previous month.
So the stats for the US non-defense capital goods orders, excluding aircrafts, reflects the estimate cost of the orders placed with manufacturers for the production of durable goods. However, these figures don't include the price of the aircraft and defense sectors to remain unbiased.
By durable goods, we mean to say those goods that are expected to last for a minimum of more than 3 years. Since the production of durable goods involves large cash flows, therefore, these stats are sensitive to the US economy. Generally speaking, a high reading suggests a bullish market for the US Swiss ahead and vice versa.
That's right. So given the macro economy outlook of the pair over the last few days, selling the US dollars Swiss pair around current levels might bring some short-term profits.
Now, once again, or when you're trading, trade with your head, not your heart. Only trade with what you can afford to lose, and always apply strict money and risk management techniques.
That's all for today. Happy trading, and good to see you tomorrow.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.